Alright guys, so yesterday Trump presented F-47. Boeing company got the approval for the full design and manufacture of those airplanes. And just look at the shape, wow, American flag, the smoke is coming, kind of the stealthy design, and yeah, it's fake. It's all CGI generated and no one knows how the airplane looks like. Well, there's the article in Wikipedia with the same artificially generated image, saying that details about F-47 design remains classified, but they say that it will fly for the longer range, it will have advanced stealth technology, more sustainable, supportable, and higher availability than our 5th generation fighter jets F-55 and F-35 Lightning, which is not the 4th generation, I guess it's 5th. So the best of the best airplane we have, it would cost 20 billion United States dollars, but usually, like as usual for any sort of the military production, multiply that number at least by 3 and you'll get the final one. So yes, yesterday President Trump announced the engineering and manufacture and development contract for this airplane, which will go to Boeing. By the way, the main manufacturer of the fighter jets in the United States is Lockheed Martin. So Boeing, as for me, already is kind of the strange choice, because Lockheed Martin already used many of the stealth technologies and so on, so Boeing has to do something from almost very beginning. Well, I would say after all it's kind of the short article, we don't have lots of the information here. But let's listen to this guy and his presentation of this fighter jet.
At my direction, the United States Air Force is moving forward with the world's first 6th generation fighter jet, number 6, 6th generation. Nothing in the world comes even close to it. And
yeah, nothing in the world comes close to it because it doesn't exist.
It'll be known as the F-47. The generals picked a title, and it's a beautiful number, F-47.
Because he's the 47th president.
It's something the likes of which nobody has seen before in terms of all of the attributes of a fighter jet. There's never been anything even close to it from...
Well, it's hard to judge because the manufacture and design has just been started from what I understood.
Speed to maneuverability to what it can have to payload. And this has been in the works for a long period of time. After a rigorous and thorough competition between some of America's top aerospace companies, the Air Force is going to be awarding the contract for the next generation air dominance platform to Boeing. As you know, it was highly competed for. There was a lot of competition, generals, and...
Boeing, name associated with safety and reliability. Indeed.
It's been going on for a long time. Very, very tough competition, but this plane is produced numbers that nobody's ever seen before. The F-47 will be the most advanced, most capable, most lethal aircraft ever built. An experimental version of the plane has secretly been flying for almost 5 years, and we're confident that it massively overpowers the capabilities of any other nation. There's no...
So it's not just the beginning of designing of this airplane. Trump says that it has been flying for 5 long years. 5 years is kind of the long period of time. So maybe there is some sort of the secret prototype, but it hasn't been yet shown to us. So the information which is coming to public is almost no information we have. But if they build this aircraft already, maybe they know something about characteristics, and maybe it's definitely outstanding. Who knows?
No other nation. We know every other plane. I've seen every one of them, and it's not even close. This is a next level. You know, level 5 is good. This is level 6, they say. The F-47 is equipped with state-of-the-art stealth technology. It's virtually unseeable and unprecedented power. It's got the most power of any jet of its kind ever made. Maneuverability, likewise, is there's never been anything like it, despite the power and speed. Its speed is top. It's over 2, which is something that you don't hear very often.
Over 2 Mach? Well, usually fighter jets fly around Mach 2.
America's enemies will never see it coming. Hopefully we won't have to use it for that purpose, but you have to have it. And if it ever happens, they won't know what the hell hit them. A new fleet of these magnificent planes will be built in the air during my administration over the next couple of years. It's ready to go. They've already built much of what has to be built in terms of production.
So it seems like logistics and production lines are fully ready, and in a couple of years, he said, we're gonna see those airplanes flying around. Interesting.
Including the sheds, will ensure that the USA continues to dominate the skies. We've given an order for a lot. We can't tell you the price because it would give way to some of the technology and some of the size of the plane.
But in Wikipedia, they stated 20 billion United States dollars, which is kind of cheap, I would say, for this kind of the described jet, the best of the best, maneuverability, stealthability, payload, blah, blah, blah. So it should be like the best of the best airplane ever built, according to Trump.
Size plane. This contract also represents a historic investment in our defense industrial base, helping to keep America at the cutting edge of aerospace and technology. Our allies are calling constantly. They want to buy them also, and certain allies will be selling them, perhaps.
To certain allies, they'll sell them, but not to all of the allies.
We like to tone them down about 10%, which probably makes sense because someday maybe they're not our allies, right?
What? They want to reduce the capabilities of the fighter jets by 10% because they're afraid that some of the allies will not be allies any longer? Kind of strange. So who would buy those airplanes from allies? There is like a big issue now with F-35 program coming from Portugal, Canada, Germany. They want to review the F-35 program because United States potentially may switch those airplanes off if they won't like the way how Germany, for example, intends to use those. And also they may quit supplying spare parts, maintenance, and so on. So yeah, in a way, if you buy American weaponry and F-35, sophisticated one, you need all of the stuff coming from United States of America. So you are very dependent on politics inside the United States.
But I would like to ask Secretary Hegseth, who's doing a fantastic job. He's really been very inspiring in so many ways. And I must say that before...
Oh, by the way, I'll remove my image just for you to see the same picture as in Wikipedia. Yes, it was presented as this picture. I'll cut some of the blah 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 stuff here.
This is a big day for our warfighters. This is a big day for our country, a big day in the world. The name of this program is the Next Generation of Air Dominance. And Mr. President, because of your leadership, your clarity, America is going to have generations in the future of air dominance because of this sixth generation fighter. We've had the F-15, we had the F-16, the F-18, the F-22, the F-35. Now we have the F-47.
Now we have already?
Which sends a very direct, clear message to our allies that we're not going anywhere, and to our enemies that we will be able to project power around the globe unimpeded for generations to come. Mr. President, this is a gift to my kids and your kids, to my grandkids and your grandkids.
Well, it seems like eternity, America dependent on this F-47 airplane, the design and production of which has just been started, and we are not sure at this stage whether the jet is successful or not.
This is a historic investment in the American military, in the American industrial base, in American industry that will help revive the warrior ethos inside our military, which we're doing, rebuild our military, which the previous administration did not do, by the way, Mr. President. They paused this program and were prepared to potentially scrap it. We know this is cheaper, longer range, and more stealthy. President Trump said we're reviving it and we're doing it. And then we are also going to reestablish deterrence. Under the previous administration, we looked like fools.
Why look like? Sorry guys, there's lots of the political stuff here on this video, but I have to say about F-47 program. And why am I so sarcastic? Because I know how aviation works and how much money and time you need to produce effective fighter jet. Recall F-35 program and all of the issues around it. And they've started this new hell of investment. Yes, probably F-47 could be the best aircraft out there, but for sure the airplane cannot have a stealthy characteristics and have enormous range, enormous load of weaponry. It contradicts each other. No, each fighter jet is special for its particular purpose. That's why you have lots of the fighter jets, modifications, some of them stealth, some of them no. Like maneuverability, it's kind of limited for the stealth fighter jets compared to the regular jets. Let's take for example F-16, MiG-29. Their maneuverability is way better compared to F-35 or Russian Sukhoi 57. They were built for different purposes.
The F-47 is part of it, and Mr. President, thank you for having the courage to do it and leading the way for all our warfighters.
Thank you very much, Pete. One of the things I will say, but the generals are going to speak in just a couple of seconds, but this plane flies with drones. It flies with many, many drones, as many as you want, and it's a technology that's new, but it doesn't fly by itself. It flies with many drones, as many as we want. And
kind of interesting solution, and here I agree that it is the perspective technology. Russians, by the way, tried to implement it in their Sukhoi 57 fighter jet. So there was the special drone designed to accompany that fighter jet. And this is the Russian drone, by the way, that was designed to fly with Sukhoi 57. Its name is S-70. And the last year, during a patrolling mission, Russia lost the control over that drone and they decided to shut it down themselves. So actually, United States now have to produce a special drone to accompany this F-47 for it to have at least the same speed characteristics. Not even speaking about stealth and others. Russians, by the way, still struggling to accompany their S-70 drone with Sukhoi 57, but that program is out there in Russia for decades. Yeah, obviously United States is not Russia, they have more resources, but they also need time. So in a couple of years, for everything of that being produced, I don't believe in that. And absolutely not for 20 billion. No, I expect that this program could be the most expensive fighter jet program ever. Well, anyways, let's go.
That's something that no other plane can do. So I'd like to introduce, if I might, Air Force Chief of Staff General David Alvin, and also General Dale White, two incredible people that I've known over the years, but I got to know them really well over the last few months. And would you say a few words, please, General?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for your unwavering commitment to our military. I will say this is a big day. This is a big day for our United States Air Force as well. You know, air dominance is not a birthright, but it's become synonymous with American air power. But air dominance needs to be earned every single day. And since the earliest days of aerial warfare, brave American airmen have jumped into their machines, taken to the air, and they've cleared the skies. And whether that be clearing the skies so we can rain down destruction on our enemies from above.
A big secret, in fact, we don't show too much of the plane for that reason. You see what we show? You see how beautiful that is, but that's just a very small part of it.
Sure.
I wasn't surprised. I was wondering how much are you going to show if they came in with that. You see a wheel in the front? That's about it.
Yeah, so it kind of the Mr. Trump, we're gonna win this world with this fighter jet. It's the best of the best, and yeah. No one says about the potential problems to finally deliver the working vehicle to the army, and guys, it will take years and years. No. Well, I just hope that Boeing comes out with proper solutions kind of fast. And let's Google for the images. So we have this kind of the jet here, this kind of the jet here. So most of the images show tailless construction, so the flying wing construction, which is, I would agree, the most efficient way to build the airplane with as less drag as possible. You don't have those vertical, horizontal stabilizers, but you need sophisticated flight control system to operate flying wing safely. Does it look great? Yeah, I would say so, but again, all of those images are for now. Well, I wouldn't say that those are fake, those are artificially generated based on really nothing. The design is secret, top secret. Yeah, we have this one with lots of the missiles on the bottom, and this one kind of the beautiful picture, and here we have some of the fins, so probably we'll see fins. Well, anyways, we're gonna see, or we will not see, the final product comes out from Boeing factory, but for sure United States will spend lots of the budget funds to make those airplanes. And I recall this tweet from Elon Musk where he reposted a swarm of drones flying somewhere in China, where he commented, "Meanwhile, some idiots are still building manned fighter jets like F-35. Idiots, indeed." And if we check out this more or less official image presented by artist rendering essays but approved by Air Force, here is the cockpit. So it's not a drone, it's the man-flying machine. So some idiots are still building. Idiots who were in the Oval Office yesterday are still building those airplanes. And honestly, guys, Elon Musk is absolutely delusional comparing those small drones with the fighter jet. Those have absolutely different use on the front lines in the war. It even doesn't connect with each other. So yeah, it's the total bullshit he tweeted here. And yeah, this tweet was several months ago, but nevertheless, now Trump looked like Elon Musk called him, building the man-flying machine. And yes, I just making fun of the politicians, of those crazy persons there, because everyone makes the fun of them mostly. So it is interesting to check out what they thought before and how they changed their opinion by 180 degrees after some time. So they're not consistent, let's say. And honestly, guys, judging on all of the Boeing's failure, not just with their airplanes but also with the spaceship, luckily just recently, a few days ago, astronauts were returned back to the Earth, spending 9 months in space because of the Boeing spaceship issues. So yeah, I'm surprised that this company was endorsed by Donald Trump to build a very sophisticated fighter jet, which according to Trump and everyone in that room saying is up to save America. So yeah, it's kind of the interesting solution. We'll see how it goes. I don't want to say lots of the bad stuff, but I know the reality and how much it takes to produce a real capable fighter jet, and not just generate random pictures saying that we have the aircraft flying for 5 years but it's top secret. Yeah, maybe we should land someone in Area 51 to check it out. And just for you to understand, the development of F-35 was started in 1995. And the maiden flight, they say, was on December 2006, so 11 years later. And the full rate production happened just in 2021. So how many? 26 years since the start of the development. So they have all of the logistics ready to produce the aircraft on a massive scale. They have many of the customers, but it took 26 years. And now they want to produce F-47, completely different airplane, and also the drone for it. And do you think that it might take less years for that? I don't believe so. And I also do not believe that they have a real aircraft flying there for 5 years. Because usually those test flights, they open at least partially. Plus the investment for F-35 project was roughly 50 billion. And by 2037 the number spent for this airplane is roughly 316 billion, which will be just partially compensated from the customers abroad. So yes, F-47 is actually an interesting project, but it will cost more than that, believe me. And as usual, there will be problems on the way, which will take lots of the time to resolve. And yeah, basically the aim of this video is to make the fun of some of the politicians and other influencers like Elon Musk, but also it is to show you that reality is a little different compared to what you see from TV or from those politicians. They just need your points, your attention, and we'll see if this project really works. I hope it works well for United States. So guys, see you around. Ciao.